Hello, this is Clower132, bringing you the second episode of the Road to Fallout 3 modding the game. And in this episode, we are actually going to go ahead and cover our first couple mods along with the Nexus Mod Manager. These will be, we will be covering the Delay DLC mod, the Use Glove mod, which will make it to where if you're wearing power armor, you won't, whenever you pull out your left hand, you actually have a glove on instead of you just seeing your skin. When in third person you obviously have a glove on your power armor. And then lastly, we'll also be covering the Fallout 3 Stutter Remover, which will fix some micro stuttering in the game that is, at least to me, it's pretty noticeable, and it bugs me. So to start off, we are going to look at the Nexus Mod Manager itself. So you'll want to go right here, nexusmods.com/games, which I will have a link. As always, I'll have a link to all of these downloads in the description below. And you'll want to click right here, this install NMM.47.3. It may be a updated version whenever you watch this video. And you'll want to download and install this. And once you do, and then once you run the file, you will actually, that's not what you will get, you will have a screen that looks like this. Originally, I think it'll start off by scanning for installed games. So you'll locate whatever games you have. As you can see, I've got a lot of the games that are supported by the Mod Manager. And so if you get this screen, you'll want to choose Fallout 3 and then just hit OK. I'm not going to check this because later on, once I get done with these, I'll be doing New Vegas and Skyrim and maybe Oblivion, not sure. So our selection will be Fallout 3 and we'll hit OK, and then we will wait for it to load up. And you have to make sure that once you install the Nexus Mod Manager, you run it as an administrator. An easy way to set this to where you always have that is to go to Properties and then click on the Compatibility, and then just check this right here, run this program as an administrator, and then you'll hit Apply and OK. And then we will go back into here, and you should get this screen. And I have these since I'm using the Fallout 3, Game of the Year edition. And you'll have this tab here, Mods. And this has all your list of mods. Originally, I think the default view is this right here where it's got folders, but I click this button and I get this order right here that has pretty much everything in alphabetical order. And also from here you can run Fallout Script Extender, or if you wanted to, you could run the regular game. But I always will be running the FOSE version, but I run it from Steam, as said in the last video. So as you see, I've already downloaded pretty much all the mods I will be using. Some of these I may not use. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to go through them again, but these first ones will be some very basic ones that, yes, I will want to use. So to start off, we will use the Delay DLC. And that right here, as it is, whenever you're playing Fallout 3, the minute you step out the vault, you get all the pop-ups for the DLC. You get all of them, and it's pretty, as it says right here, it's immersion breaking. I don't want to drag text. As you can see, it's immersion breaking. Because, I mean, really, I just stepped out of the vault. Where did I get this piece of paper to point lookout? And, oh, really, I've already got these distress calls when I'm just stepping out of the vault? Why would I be receiving these? Why would I care about these yet? You'd want to hear them a little bit when you get closer towards where these DLC begin. So what you'll want to do is, we're going to download this and install this to make it to where instead you find, you locate the signals when you get closer to the source of the DLC, like the Operation Anchorage. Instead of getting that Pip-Boy radio distress signal right out the start, you have to get close to where the actual DLC content is located. So I believe that's a little bit to the west of Grey Ditch. You'd have to be somewhere over in that area to receive the distress call. So you'll want to click Files, and sorry if I sound a little bit raspy. I'm dealing with a small sinus infection. Not fun to deal with. So what you'll want to do is, assuming you have all of the DLC, you'll want to hit this, the Delay DLC, download with the Manager now. Once you have the Nexus Mod Manager, you'll want to then from here on begin clicking Download with Manager unless I say otherwise. which I'll be saying otherwise here in a couple mods. If you only have broken steel, just go ahead and just download this one. So first you want to just download whichever one of these you really need. And obviously, if German, that one. So I did this one because I have all the DLC. And I got this file right here. DLC, Delay DLC, Gameplay Effects and Changes version 1 by 4th of 11. Or, yeah, 4th of 11. So what you'll want to do is you'll just highlight it. And all you got to click is right here, this button. This little puzzle piece with a green arrow on it. And it'll be fairly quickly, and it'll just run through and say success, the model is successfully activated. And so then you'll just hit OK. Then you'll go to your plugins. And now here, if you want, you can kind of customize all of these as to which one you actually want. I'm actually going to uncheck this since I do have the pit and anchorage. I'm unchecking both of these, anchorage and the pit, because this is combined into one right there. So you'll get the delay, all these ESPs, and so these are plugin files to the game that affect the game. So I personally like to set it up to where it kind of follows the order of this. So I'll left click and hold the delay, the pit, and anchorage, and move them right there, followed by broken steel, so I'll drag that up, and then point lookout and zeta. And now since I'm never really going to need these two, since I have them both, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our program files, our Fallout 3 installation folder, Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition, and we'll go to Data. And as you can see, since I'm never going to use these, it's a personal preference just to kind of clean it up a little bit. I don't need the delayed, the pit.esp, or the delay anchorage ESP since I have them combined here. So I'm just going to highlight both of those with a control left click on each. Right click and delete. I don't need those files because I will not use them. And now as you see, it's still here, but what you'll need to do is just hit this little green circular thingy icon and click Fallout 3 again, and it'll reload the mod manager. And once it loads, we will see that is gone. Those files that we are not using are gone. So now I don't have a saved setup to show you guys this, but what's going to happen now is once you start the game, and this only applies really to new games, I believe. I think if you've already started a game, it won't change anything. It might actually disable them, but the distress signals, you'll still have the point lookout note, but as for the radio signals, you won't be able to listen to them until you get closer. But you'll still have them in your Pip-Boy. If you start out fresh, you won't even have them in your Pip-Boy until you find the area close to Werner or close to Operation Anchorage. And so I'm not going to really go into the game and show these off, because all it does is it just delays everything. I don't know why it has delays. I don't know why there's a delay steel, because broken steel doesn't even activate until after the main storyline, but we'll just keep it in there for some odd reason. I'm not sure exactly why. I think it might have to talk to somebody before you actually get to steel to truly activate once you load in the game. You'll still finish the game and you'll still go into the steel area, but I'm not sure exactly how steel works for that. So the next mod, we'll go back to our mods section here, and the next mod we want is the Echo Use Your Gloves. So this right here, as it says, we'll just show a little bit of a... I'll wait for the description to load. I may have issues here with... we'll retry it. Okay, basically what it does is this. See, your character will still have the glove on when wearing power armor, because we all know normally, by default, he has your skin. You're wearing power armor and you still have no glove on your left hand because of the Pip-Boy. The Pip-Boy's whole glove section is actually your skin. So using this mod adds the glove correctly in to where then you'll still be wearing a glove whenever you're wearing power armor and you're in first person mode, I believe. So you'll click on the files and download with Manager right here, the UIG version 1, no description, just download with the Manager. So once you download it with the Manager, you will get this file right here, the Echo User Gloves UYG version 1. And all we will do, as usual, just activate the selected mod, and it was successfully activated. Again, I don't have a suit of armor in my current save that will show off this effect, but trust me, if you have a save that has a power armor, you can load up the game, go ahead and head into your, throw on your power armor, or throw on something that has a glove on both hands normally, and there you go. You'll have both gloves on your hand, instead of having your left hand be no glove when it should. So the last mod I'm going to cover in this video is the Fallout 3 Stutter Remover. So I will be right back. I'm going to go in-game and show you guys, maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't. I'll try and show off the how the stutter is actually there. So we will be back in just a second once I load the game up. Alright, so here we are in-game, and now I'm not sure how all this will show up on the actual recording once you guys are watching it, but as I move to the right, I notice as it's moving, I just see everything kind of just like stops. It's very, very small, very, very hard to tell, but me as an experienced gamer of, I don't know, since I was like 7 or so, and I'm 20 now, I'm pretty used to, I'm pretty good at spotting, you know, things like that. Normally it doesn't bother me, but with Fallout 3, I want to run a smooth game. I want this to feel really realistic, and in real life as we move, things don't continuously stutter in real life. So this is basically what I'm talking about when there's stutters. And what the Fallout 3 Stutter Remover will do, it'll remove this issue. It'll make everything just, as I move, it'll all slide nice and smooth instead of stuttering across the screen at like small intervals of time. You guys don't see it, maybe. You guys might see it, maybe you don't, I'm not sure. But to me, it's just, let's see if I can get really close. If you just watch that little sign there, yeah, too far. Hang on, I was too close. If you watch that sign, it sort of just like stutters. It's just move, stop, move, stop, move, stop, move, stop, move, stop. And it's just, that's how everything is in the game by natural default game. So the Fallout 3 Stutter Remover should, and will, as long as I install this correctly, which I will show you guys how to do so. I've done it about 6 times, so I should be alright. So, I'll be right back. We're going to exit the game, and I'll show you guys how to install the Fallout 3 Stutter Remover. So, be right back. Alrighty, so now, we need to go to the Fallout Stutter Remover on the Nexus Mod site, which, again, I will have the link in the description below. And what we will need, I already told you guys what the Stutter Remover does. Also, its name kind of tells you what it does. So you'll go straight to the Files section, and what you'll want to do is right here, the FSR 407, download that with Manager, and then you're going to need this, but we'll get to this in just a minute. So once you download that with the Manager, you will have it somewhere in here. As you can see, I've got a lot, so I gotta find it. Fallout Stutter Remover, right here, FSR 407. So what you'll want to do is, just as usual, activate the selected mod. And this mod was successfully activated. And now, if we go to our data folder, not our data folder, but actually, yeah, if we go to our Fallout directory, let me refresh it just to make sure everything's in here. Okay, yeah. If we go to our data folder, we now have this, FOSE, and then plugins, and as you can see right here, we have the Fallout Stutter Remover DLL and the INI file, and a text document for it. So that's what that just added in, is pretty much this whole thing from here onward. So now what we want to do is we want to download the work in progress for 126. It's basically an update, but for some reason we can't do this. We cannot do the download with Manager because it will not install it into the correct location. So what you need to do is download that manually, which I don't think I did. Did I? Oh yes, I did. Okay, I did download that manually already. So you'll download this manually and just ignore this. This is something I'm not going to use. This is a Tale of Two Wastelands. It pretty much doesn't work with the mods that I'll be using. I'd like it to work, but it kind of doesn't, as far as I can tell, so. Alright, so you'll get this FSR WIP, and you'll want to just, what we always do, Actually, no, never mind. Don't extract files. Don't worry about that. We don't need to do that. So just what we want to do is we want to make a new folder. So you want to right-click, New Folder, and call this folder Data. And then inside of this folder, we want to right-click, New Folder, FOSE. Now what you could do is you could actually just go really quickly. Let me just show you. If we need to open this up. It's going to open up here. Right here, that's the same file as what is right here. It's this is the same file, and what if you wanted to, you could just simply drag this over. Well, you'd have to extract it, I guess, yeah. Which actually, I'm going to go ahead and extract this folder, because actually we do need to do that. So extract the files for it. And what you would get is this same file. If you wanted to, all you could do is move that in here. But I want to use the Nexus Mod Manager as much as possible to manage our mods. So it's a lot easier. If we want to take it out, we could just remove this. This is what it is we are going to create, is this Stutter Remover update. So now what we'll do is, where we were creating our folder, the data, FOSE, and then create one more new folder called plugins. And then what you'll want is to go to the FSR WIP folder, and we'll want to just right click and copy this DLL, and then go back into our data FOSE plugins folder that we just created and paste it in right there. So then the last thing we need to do is right click this and add to archive. If you have WinRAR, I think with 7-zip, it's also just add to archive. And then instead of having this just data.rar, let's name this FOSE, or not FOSE, my bad, Fallout Stutter Remover Update. And then just hit OK. So it'll compress that, and you'll get this right here. And so now we're done with these two folders here. We don't need those anymore, so just go ahead and delete those. So this is now a mod. This is now ready for the Nexus Mod Manager. So what you would want to do is go to Add Mod from File, locate your Downloads folder, just select this and hit Open. I'm not going to, since it's right here for me. I already got it. So I'm just going to cancel, but you'll want to hit Open. And so then it'll take a minute down here. It would show building the mod and adding it to the manager. It shouldn't take too long. It's only a small DLL. And then it would create this file right here. Let me make sure I'm recording. Yeah, okay. And so all we want to do is, just like we have been, activate selected mod, and now you'll get this data file, Stutter Remover DLL has already been installed by a different mod. Would you like to overwrite this? For pretty much every mod we do, what we are going to want to do is hit yes to all, because we want this to take precedence over our Stutter Remover. We want this to overwrite that DLL file with this one. We want this Fallout, the 407 DLL to be overwritten by this one. So hit yes to all, and successfully activated. And then in our plugins section, it's not going to be in our plugins section because it's not a plugin. It's just adding these files to our Steam data. Now what we need to do, one more thing before we go into the game and everything, is we need to configure this INI file. So I'm going to open Notepad. You need to run it as an administrator unless you don't have it. If you don't have Fallout 3 installed into your program files, that's okay. You don't need to run this in as an administrator, but if you have default installation into the program files, like I do right now, then we definitely need to run this as an administrator, or you will not be able to overwrite the file. So we need to open and have to go through the whole process of locating our installation folder for Fallout 3. And Steam Apps, Common, Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition, so Data, FOSE, Plugins, and show all files, and right here the Stutter Remover Configuration Settings file, and hit Open. The first area we want here is the Master section. This is the code you're looking for, bManageFPS. You can have this is default set to 1, which sets the stutter remover to control your FPS. It will manage it if you have this. I'm leaving it at 1, but if you are like me and you record your games, you'll want to set it to 0, because most likely your recording software will do this for you, but the Bandicam, as far as I can tell, I don't think it does. Maybe it does, I'm not sure, but I leave this on anyways, just for efficiency for it. And then down here we have MaximumFPS. Now some people are wondering, why would you want to cap your frames per second? The reason for this, you want to cap your frames, is because if the game is going smoothly, say 60 frames a second, which is what I will be setting this to, if your game is running 60 frames per second, then all of a sudden it just drops. It just goes down to the minimum of 10. You will notice it, you will see it, you will feel it, and you will hurt. Unless this doesn't bother you, of course. If having a stuttery game does not bother you, then you probably aren't even installing the stutter remover anyways. But to me, I hate it. I hate going 60 frames a second and then all of a sudden it just starts murdering. I haven't had that problem since I have my new gaming computer that I personally built. It seems to run this game just fine at 60 frames a second, and that's what I'm going to cap this to. You don't want to go over 60. If you go over 60, it seems that when it's mixed with other mods that I will be installing, like Fallout Wanderers Edition, it causes things to move faster proportional to the rate of your FPS. So if say I were to have this set to 0 to where this is not managing it, if I have nothing managing my FPS and I'm going 120 frames a second, then what'll happen is I'll move twice as fast, I will shoot twice as fast, everything goes twice as fast. The enemies move twice as fast as well, and it's a lot hard. It makes the game so much more harder, plus totally unrealistic, because I shouldn't be able to fly across the map in, 20 seconds. Shouldn't happen. It should take me a while to run across the entire wasteland. So I'm setting that to 60 FPS, so it won't go over that, so I won't have that issue. And if your computer can handle it, I would recommend setting it to 60, but if you have a lower end computer, you want to just leave this at 30. And in fact, if you do have a lower end computer, you probably don't even want this to manage your FPS, just to be safe, so you actually kind of get your regular thing. So my suggestion is, if you have a low end computer that can barely run Fallout 3 on Fallout 3 settings at all, just change this to 0 right here, the bManageFPS, just change that to 0 and leave the rest of this alone. If you have a computer that can handle Fallout 3 quite alright, goes well, and if you can get a stable 60, set this to 60. So once again, lower end computers should change this just to 0. Higher end, leave this at 1, and if you know you can, change this to 60. And then all we need to do at this point is file and save. And now the stutter remover has now effectively been installed, and now I will go ahead and load up my game again, and I will show you that the stutter we had before should now be gone. So we will be right back. Alright, and here we are in game. Trusty little dog meat right over there. In this save I've already gotten to dog meat, obviously. So now, as we did before, as we just move slowly across this, it does not do that little stop go, stop go, stop go, stop go every quarter of a second. It is now just a very smooth moving animation as I move across. It just smoothly slides across the screen. There is none of that little jitteriness or stuttering at all of the game. So we'll go up here to our clinic sign again. And if you watch, I'm not sure if you guys noticed the stutter or not, but if you watch now, you'll see that it is now gone. That sign just slides across the screen as it should, instead of jumping instead of jumping like 10 pixels every quarter of a second or whatever. It just slides across, covers every single pixel needed, and just moves along. So this Fallout Stutter Remover has effectively removed any stuttering issues we've had with the game. So now it's a lot smoother. It is so much better in my opinion. It no longer hurts me to play the game. I now actually like playing, because now I don't have to deal with a stuttery, jittery movement at all times with everything that goes on in the game. So, alright guys, I think that will be the end of this video. So in the next episode, I think we'll start covering our first major mod. I think we'll cover Fallout Wanderers Edition. We'll probably do Mart's Mutant mod, along with the compatibility patch for those to work together, and then we will, from there, we'll just, I'll show you guys the basic settings for those. I won't go into too much depth with the settings during the installation. After I get done with installation, once I start the game, I will actually have a video where I'll show myself setting up all my stuff in-game, preparing to play for the playthrough. So that will, the full detailed, I'll show you what all this thing does, all the settings and stuff, will come at a later time. So, alright, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please leave a like, make a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and if you already have, I appreciate your support by watching the video, and hope you have successfully installed these, and if you have not, leave any questions down in the comments or on my Facebook page, which is, again, linked below, and we'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.